Here we are at week 3. Can you believe it? Week 3 of Hacktoberfest 2022. My name is Darren Pope. I'm a developer advocate at CloudBees. And along with me today, I have Jean-Marc Meeson, who is part of the Jenkins developer relations team. Jean-Marc, how are you doing?
Hey, well, good morning or good day. I don't know how to say it each time I get a little bit off balance. Yeah, I'm
Good
doing
day.
fine. Good
Just
day.
just
I think it's,
stick with your the French way of saying it, which you taught me last week was
yeah.
bonjour, which
Bonjour, good day.
which
Yeah.
which covers everything, right?
Great. Yes,
Or
I'm doing fine.
okay, wait, let's ask this question. So is it proper to say bonsoir as well? Is that interchangeable?
It depends on the time. So bonjour is general. Bonsoir means good evening,
Only evening, right?
only
So
evening.
only evening.
And then morning and day is the same. So this is the way it works.
Okay. People probably aren't wanting French lessons today. So too bad. You got a little bit of one, just a little
Yeah,
bit.
just a little bit. Yeah.
We, no joking aside there, we're at 6 days before the end of Hacktoberfest 2022. 6 days.
Yeah.
Where has this month gone?
Ah, there are a lot of activity, a lot of discussions on the various chats, and especially a lot of PRs have been submitted during this month. So when I look at the figures, I just ran them a couple of hours ago. So we were standing at 570 PRs, 17 PRs compared to last week's where we were at 332. So you see, there's quite a bunch that came together, and we're now 107 different contributors that submitted PRs. We had only 85, getting mixed with the figures here. Now, don't forget that these PRs not all of them have been merged or are approved. That means that they don't all count towards the t-shirt or planting the tree. So if we want to restrict them to the Hacktoberfest complete, we are at 443 PRs proposed by 88 contributors, which is really a very substantive figure. And 34 fulfilled the swag conditions just by their Jenkins contribution. This is compared to 20 last week, so we're still in it, and I see still PRs coming in. And I made a little comparison with last year's activity. So, but you know how figures are. They they hide a lot of pits and these kind of things. So I have the impression that we have about an increase of 15% of PRs compared to last week. So there is even increased attention and participation this week, this year. So last year, when I compare, we ran about 33 PRs a day globally. Uh, and this year, we're at 38 PRs a day average on the month. So it doesn't indicate a lot, but additional activity. So, well, thank you to all that contributed. So, all
Well,
the,
and every little bit helps.
yeah,
I mean, 15% doesn't sound like a lot, but 15% is actually quite a lot. So,
yeah, substantial, and a lot of people put effort in it. So I'm very happy and thankful to the people that contributed.
we're talking about people. Over the past couple of weeks, you've talked about how you've talked to some people throughout. Were you able to actually talk to anybody else this past week?
Yeah, this is something I like very much. It is behind the figures. Doing figures is interesting, but I like also to learn the story behind it. Who are all these people participating? I wanted to have a chat. This time I had a chat by email with two contributors with different profiles. So one was Kyla from Minnesota. Yeah, he's been participating to Hacktoberfest already since 2018, so he's already a seasoned participant. Uh, Although he doesn't remember exactly when he started. So uh, this year he was low on time, and there's another theme that I heard. So he didn't have so much time, and he encouraged people in his company to participate to it, and then they jumped in it, they started contributing, and then, well, if they do it, I can't leave it like that. And so he contributed, and he said, I have to participate no matter how busy I am. So it indicates that it's addictive too, and he liked. Um, Now he went a little bit further and said Hacktoberfest was an excuse to make time uh, to contribute to open source. He uses open source quite a lot in his company, so open source is mission critical for his own fun projects, but also for the things that they build in his company. So it's important to them, and uh, he felt that it's important to maintain these softwares and to contribute to them. Open source helps us build better software and never to get stuck, because you always have the possibility to fix something or to. So for them, it's and for Kyla, it's really key component. Making time available and discussing with the management and having this is a recurring discussion that I heard and worth thinking. Um, Now, why Jenkins? Well, he's using Jenkins at work. This is how they deliver code in his company. They're even using the CloudBees enterprise products to do that. But under the hood, a big part of the CloudBees enterprise products are Jenkins. So he said, well, this is the best way to contribute and to make it better. I also asked him if he had recommendations to newcomers, to people that wanted to contribute. And this is always a tricky question, especially as he somehow managed to get other people from his company to contribute. Uh, he said it is important to find a repo where there are clear steps how to build the project, how to contribute, and this he mentioned several times, and this is clear in most of the Jenkins repositories. So, and it's a reminder for us all to take care that the contributing documentation is up to date, because this is the first entry point for people that want to contribute to the projects. Another important thing that he recommended was looking for a project with a good chat where maintainers are available and ready to help, and which is also something that we try actively to provide in the Jenkins project. And thank you for all the people that are available on the Gitter channels or on the developer mailing list in answering the various questions. They're part of the complete effort. So this is very important, and I think Kyla is right in saying clear steps, how to build, how to contribute, clarity, and also a good help line to discuss and clarify things. Another interesting tip he gave was that um, start with a small bug that affects you or a missing feature that you would like to use yourself, because you know the issue. You have a good experience how it goes, how it should go, And so the learning step and to figure out what is expected is a little bit easier. So that was also a good advice, a good tip. So thank you, Kyla, for participating and sharing your ideas and experience with me. So thank you again. And then I had another interesting conversation with Omkar. Omkar is in Pune, in India. Uh, he is not a seasoned professional like Kyla. He's a young professional. He started a software engineering career. So he just started a couple of months ago. He changed jobs, but he didn't learn computing. He has a degree in mechanical engineering, so he comes from another field. So he had a gap to learn, and this is why he turned to open source. This is a story that we already heard a couple of times. It's his first participation to Hacktoberfest, and he's also new to open source. So he didn't start uh, uh, very long ago. And he is from this group of people that contribute also because they learn something. So it's very exciting to contribute, and I'd like to quote some of his the points he made. But he said projects grow via the contributors, what they do, but the contributors grow also from their contribution. So it's really both win for from the experience. And what he really was looking, and this is what open source gives, is to provide a different exposure to software engineering than what generally people have in their work. Sometimes you only specialize in one particular field, and it's sometimes limited. Open source allows you to explore a much broader domain. So this is also a recurring point. Participating, contributing to open source as a learning path. Um, he pointed out, and I found it interesting too. We heard it also a few times before. He said contributing to open source also gives a feeling of satisfaction that the projects you're contributing to are used by several people on this planet, and your contributions are benefiting them in one way or the other. So this satisfaction that the work that has been done is used by somebody somewhere. So learning is good, contributing to the project is good, but also this feeling, somebody's using my piece of code, and I remember that. So this is now. What did he do for this Oktoberfest event? He wanted to understand the Jenkins project. So he read a lot. He read a lot of code. He read a lot of documentation. He tried to fix issues he encountered. He probably looked also at entry-level issues. Um, so he tried to fix these issues. He also fixed some documentation issues he came along. So he started slowly. And as a beginning contributor, he felt it difficult to understand the issue. So he wanted to do something. He was learning, but what does the issue mean? What is expected? So there's a lot of details that are sometimes bewildering for people that starts. But he's wisely mentioning that this comes with experience. When you learn the project, when you learn the trade, you start to understand much easier what is intended by this issue. So he said a lot of patience is required in the starting phase when you start. So this was a strong message. He said, um, don't lose patience, don't give up. It takes time. So this is normal. And he shared his feeling when he started, and so this was his message to the people starting. He said it does feel scary and confusing in the beginning. This is normal, uh, and be patient. Don't try to run and then throw it away. No, continue. Um, don't be afraid to ask. You have doubts. Did I understand it correctly? Ask for it. And it is part of the learning process. These were very wise observation uh, uh, that he made. And he made a final comment. I'm going to read it here because it summarizes very well also his gratitude to the event and what he learned. It's since all my contributions for this Oktoberfest were to the Jenkins project, he would like to thank Jenkins and the teams to accept his commits, guiding him or me, I'm quoting, guiding me in the resolution of issues and helping me to learn and grow by this means, by the means of the projects. So, and this is a very important aspect of all this adventure. It's not only adding feature, it's also helping people to grow and learn. And this is a very important dimension of what we do here. And let us not forget that. So that
There's people
well,
behind every character
yes,
of line written of whatever it is, documentation code. So
exactly. And let's think about that also when we interact with them and try to remember these stories. We're talking to people and hey, you should understand what I'm meaning here. No, not
maybe
everybody can read in somebody else's mind. So
when you were a day one or day two contributor, us day 10,000 contributors need to maybe be a little more graceful sometimes. I'll
yeah,
put it that
yeah,
way. Just
yeah,
cut everybody a break.
indeed. I was very happy to listen to these stories and giving the opportunity to learn and share these stories. So I'm very grateful for my participation here to Oktoberfest and being able to tell these stories.
So Jean-Marc, it's been great. Now, in theory, we would show up next Tuesday and sort of do a wrap up because next Tuesday is November 1st. Can you believe it? Anyway, but we're not going to be here next Tuesday because Jean-Marc is going to be off.
Yes.
So
So
here's what's going to happen. He's still going to be working, not Tuesday, but he's going to be working. He's going to pull all of this data together, and then next Thursday at 4:30 Eastern, whatever time that is, it's going to be late for Europe. Mark Waite and I already have a What's New in Jenkins LTS session scheduled. It's not scheduled yet, but we have it internally scheduled. And that's going to be based on LTS 2.361.3, which is typically a nice, boring, maybe 5-minute stream, and that would have been it. But what we're going to do is we're going to take Jean-Marc's data and we're going to be talking more about sort of recapping what happened in Hacktoberfest 2022 from a Jenkins project perspective.
yeah.
So,
And a last thing to jump on that is if somebody is interested to share his story and would like to pass a message to people here, should not hesitate to reach out to me directly or whatever suitable channel and share his story. I'm really interested to hear it, listen to it, and share it further. So don't hesitate to reach out.
so yeah. So if you've been working on anything in Hacktoberfest, reach out to Jean-Marc. Down in the description of the video is a link to his Twitter handle, so you can get access him through his Twitter handle, and I think that's actually it. Or you're in Gitter as well, right?
I'm in Gitter, and my email is flying all over the universe.
Everywhere.
So.
Okay.
So no problem with that.
So Jean-Marc, thanks for doing all the heavy lifting, and I've just sort of been standing here waving and saying, "Hey, this is great," and punching buttons, hopefully successfully. So hopefully we get to see you back again on some live streams at some point in the future. And
once I fixed the problem with my camera and not focusing correctly, it comes probably from the white hairs.
Look, let's not get into white hairs. So let's not go there today. So Jean-Marc, thanks again. For everybody that's been watching this, thanks. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and leave us a thumbs up if you're if this was helpful to you at all. And Mark and I will be back, not Jean-Marc, but Mark Waite and I will be back next Thursday. If you're watching this live, that'll be November 3rd, and we'll sort of help, on top of talking about what's new in Jenkins LTS, we'll be talking about the wrap-up for the Jenkins project during Hacktoberfest 2022. Again, time. Where's time for everybody? So
we'll have to wait one more year to have the next Hacktoberfest then.
That's correct. But you don't have to, but okay, let's talk about that for a second. You don't have to wait a year. I mean, okay, the only thing that you won't get are maybe a shirt or a tree planted under your name, but doing contributions, even if it's one a month, can be extremely helpful to the project. So try to make it a year-round thing. All right. Let's let that be. So thanks, everybody, and we will talk to you again soon.
Thank you.